Yeah, that's what happens when you go sideways with the fireworks. Happy New Year, everyone! Happy 2024, everyone. Mark Abrams here with a little sports talk. We've been doing this pretty much daily now, going forward to start 2024, and I look forward to hearing from everybody as we grow this thing. Going forward this year, we're gonna have a lot of guests. Glenn Foley's gonna join me throughout the year. We're gonna get a lot of great guests on, a lot of great NFL, NBA, MLB, college football, college basketball, the whole 9 yards. We're going to be doing stuff remotely from big events as we continue to grow this thing. This will be the best sports talk show online anywhere. I mean, to be honest with you, I know more than all these people. You hear Skip Bayless, you hear Stephen A. Smith, Ariel Helwani, some of these guys, they don't know anything about sports. Anytime they want to debate me, I got the money to back me up, and I'll come on your show and eviscerate all you guys. So we're here. We got a nice little setup with the multiple cameras going now. So looking forward to doing this. So let's start out with just a couple of sports topics. We saw the other day the Florida State Seminoles get destroyed 63-3 against the Georgia Bulldogs in the Orange Bowl in a game that, quite frankly, Florida State never should have played in because they got hosed. They got really they got shafted by the playoff committee. They were 13-0 in a power conference, and then the committee, just because they lost their quarterback. Well, guess what? Texas lost their $1,400 running back, and yet they have a loss and they're in. What gives? Just because it's the quarterback? 29 players opted out, 3 first-round draft choices, a couple wide receivers, the quarterback, obviously Jordan Travis was hurt. Guys are transferring. Florida State's in shambles now because of everything going on. They're trying to get out of the ACC, so they never should have been in that game on Saturday afternoon. A couple NBA notes. The Knicks and the Raptors made a big trade on Saturday. The Knicks acquiring OG Anunoby for basically Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett, some draft capital, Precious Achua, a couple other guys, Malachi Flynn, going back to the Knicks. It's a gamble for the Knicks. I like Anunoby. He's a good player. I don't think he's a great player. Yeah, he's a very good defensive player. But you have a guy like Barrett, who I think is going to flourish now in Toronto, going back home to where he's from. His father runs the Canadian national team, former St. John's player Rowan Barrett. So RJ, I think, is going to really playing alongside Scotty Barnes, who the Raptors are going to build their team around now. They're going to have a good 10. Emmanuel Quickley's guy can really fill it up, whether he's starting or coming off the bench. And Anunoby, this is, I think, setting something up for the Knicks. The Knicks, there's been rumors they want Joel Embiid, they want other kinds of big stars. They're going to go after someone. Here in my hometown, the Sixers, there's rumors that they're going to go after guys like Zach LaVine, someone to get to be that kind of third star to go along with Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. I think the Knicks are going to be doing the same. They're going to want to go after a lot of the available big name talent, whether it's a trade or the off season. Also in the NBA, kudos to the Detroit Pistons. 28 straight wins, 20 straight losses. They finally get the win Saturday night against the aforementioned Toronto Raptors. I actually had the Pistons the other night because they made the trade that day. They were a little shorthanded. And I actually had the Pacers against the Knicks because they were shorthanded. Well, you got to jump on these things when you hear that stuff. So the Detroit Pistons they got some talent on that team. Kate Cunningham can play. Jaden Ivey can play. Jalen Duren, the big kid from Memphis via Philadelphia, he can play a little bit. So I just can't believe a team like that could lose 28 straight games. They're like I said, there's some talent there. Guy I love on that team, he's an underrated player, is Marvin Bagley Jr. I wish the Sixers would have gone after him. I expressed my thoughts on tweets to Daryl Moore to go after him. I would say, obviously, now it's the NFL now, and the hometown Philadelphia Eagles, they were terrible on Sunday, losing 35-31 to the Arizona Cardinals. That's an inexcusable loss. I mean, you can't be at home when you're fighting for the number one spot, losing to a team 3-12, a team that just they pushed the Eagles around. They ran for over 200 yards. James Conner looked like looked like a young Walter Payton in that game, just running right through the Eagles, getting 7, 8, 12 yards a shot there. And the Eagles just look listless and lethargic. Now I think they're pretty much going to be locked in. I mean, I don't see the Washington Commanders getting near the Dallas Cowboys, although I think the game is in Washington. So maybe the Commanders can they can pull their own Arizona Cardinals, what the Cardinals did to the Cowboys earlier this year, and the Eagles have to win at New York against the Giants. Giants had a spirited effort yesterday, losing by 1 point to the streaking Los Angeles Rams. So not good times here in Philadelphia. I'm going to tell you what it is. I mean, I talk with my writer friends who cover the team. The Eagles need to blitz. This defensive coordinator, I don't care if it's Sean Desai or Matt Patricia, who's the offensive coordinator or the defensive coordinator, they're relying on what was last year. They had 71 sacks, Eagles, second most of all time, and it was built mostly on the defensive line getting the quarterback. Well, guess what, guys? Reddick ain't getting the quarterback like he used to, like he did last year. Brendan Graham is, 35, 36 years old. Guys like Josh Sweat aren't having the same type of years they had last year. Sweat, who was an injury replacement, went to the Pro Bowl in 2022. They lost Javon Hargrave, who was a double-digit sack guy. You need the blitz. You need to get these quarterbacks thinking fast to kind of hide what's going on in the back seven, especially in the secondary. The Eagles secondary is a sieve. Yes, Sidney Brown had the 99-yard interception return for a touchdown, but the safeties have not played well. James Bradbury is a shell of what he was. Darius Slay is hurt. Kelly Ringo has been okay in his couple starts, but he's been inconsistent. But that's what you expect. And then you guys like Eli Ricks and guys who haven't really done the thing. Yes, they got Avonte Maddox back yesterday, which will help, but I think they need to blitz more. This is a city where, going back 35 years, just about every coordinator the Eagles have had, dating back to Buddy Ryan, Ray Rhodes, and that thing, Bud Carson, and the other defense coordinators, they relied on a pressure defense. Well, guess what? When you're not getting to the quarterback with your front four, you got to start bringing guys. The problem is they don't have those guys, but you have to do something. They really have never invested in playmaking linebackers going back a long time. They don't have that guy. That has to be addressed in the offseason. It's about time, whether it's through the draft or in free agency. I don't know which linebackers are going to be available, but they need a playmaking linebacker. I can rush the passer, drop back in coverage, and definitely a safety, a guy that they can bring off, bring into the box and bring on the blitz. So that's the Philadelphia Eagles need going forward. The Baltimore Ravens yesterday have, solidified that they are the best team in the National Football League. Lamar Jackson, I think, wrapped up the MVP, thrown 5 touchdown passes, blowing out the Miami Dolphins. They lose Bradley Chubb, down 30 points. What's he doing in the game, Mike McDaniel? Seriously, down 30 points? You got your guy, you got your best pass rusher, probably outside of Jalen Ramsey, your best defensive player, and you have him in the game, non-contact, blows out. It looks like he blew out his knee. We haven't had the thing, but that's what they were fearing yesterday. He's going to undoubtedly be gone for the season if it's an ACL or an MCL. And Bradley Chubb, a big loss, Miami Dolphins, stick a fork in the Dolphins. It's going to be, the Ravens. And, the Chiefs have looked like crap for the better part of 6 to 8 weeks, but they still got Pat Mahomes, Super Bowl, 2-time winning Super Bowl quarterback. The guy's a stud. So I would never count Patrick Mahomes out. Cowboys Lions on Saturday night was just a debacle. I mean that Taylor Decker clearly pointed at himself. He went like this, which means eligible. The referee got confused. Brad Allen, they 1,000% got confused because number 70 was the guy who was checking in pretty much most of the game on those short yardage situations. He got confused. He screwed up. He tried to cover his ass in that poll report after the game, the poll interview. And Brad Allen, cost the Detroit Lions a shot maybe to, I don't know if they would have gotten the number one seed, but you know what? They didn't get that chance. Dan Campbell, had the balls. He went for the two. They got the two, but it was taken from them on Saturday night in Arlington, Texas. Today is the national championship semifinals, a day that I've been waiting for a long time, with Alabama playing against Michigan in the first game at 5 o'clock. Then the nightcap, Texas and Washington. I'm gonna run my things on the scroll here. I have all my picks today. We like 4 games today, so here are my picks. We'll start that. We'll take Liberty plus 18. I think Bo Nix actually playing in the game for Oregon. Kudos to him. I mean, he's a guy that he's probably going to be a first-round draft choice somewhere, but I think he's going to play in this game at 1 o'clock Eastern time against Liberty. But I'm going to take Liberty. This reminds me of a situation years ago when Boise State was an upstart team from a non-power conference, and they played Oklahoma in a bowl game, and this is before all the opt-outs. And they won the game. I don't know if Liberty's going to win the game, but I think they hang in there. They're going to maybe cover the 18 points. I'll take Iowa plus 5.5 in a very low-scoring game against Tennessee. Tennessee's quarterback, Joe Milton, will not play today. He's opting out to maybe be a fifth-round draft choice. I don't get it. I mean, this is a game I think he should play in, where he's a guy that he's got a big arm, but he hasn't had a lot of experience against a good defense in Iowa. I get the injury, the risk-reward. But, this is a game where I think Milton should have played in to try to up his draft stock. And now the 2 big games. We're going to go 2 underdogs today. We like Alabama with Dallas Turner. Remember that name today, guys, when you're watching Alabama-Michigan. They're talking about Michigan's defense, Jenkins, a couple other guys, and J.J. McCarthy on offense. Dallas Turner is a guy who is right up there with Will Anderson, who was the number 3 pick in the draft last year. Dallas Turner is a pass-rushing linebacker. Remember I said this about the Eagles? Maybe need a playmaking linebacker. Dallas Turner, that's your guy. He's probably the best in the country off the ball, coming through. He's going to cause havoc for McCarthy and the Michigan Wolverines. I think Milroe is going to make enough plays today to win the game. He's McClellan, I believe, is going to be playing. I know he was hurt, the running back for Alabama. So I like Alabama. And I've been on my guy Michael Penix all year. They beat him in the bowl game last year in the Alabama game. Washington wins outright tonight in the game against Texas. Michael Penix got jobbed out of the Heisman Trophy. And I read an interesting story about him, how he wasn't even thinking Heisman Trophy before the beginning of this season. He wrote down a whole bunch of stuff. It was all about team and winning the national championship. I think he's a little pissed off that he didn't win the national championship. Everyone would be. He deserved it. Jaden Daniels not even playing for LSU, by the way, against Wisconsin. So let's see what happens. I think we're going to have a Washington Alabama national championship game next Monday night. So in Houston. So I can't wait for that. So those are my little hot sports takes. Maybe we'll be back tonight if some good stuff happens in these college football playoff games, the Rose Bowl, and the Texas against Washington games. So every day we're going to be doing this. We're going to be getting great guests on. We'll have Glenn join me. I got some other guys I'm working on, some terrific interviews with some great athletes going forward. And I just want to thank everyone for joining us. Happy New Year, and we'll talk.